Is new build right for you?
Today we're going to be highlighting some pros and cons of purchasing a new build in northern Colorado, as well as some of our favorite new build communities along the Front Range. First, we're going to start with some pros.
And there's a lot of pros.
First is they can be move-in ready, so there's no need for renovations, repairs, and everything is brand new, which is, true along...
Absolutely. Yeah. So you don't have any unexpected costs.
Is the hope. But yes, I would say that compared to an older home for sure.
Yes.
Customizable options. So some builders will allow you to choose finishes, layouts, and upgrades.
Yeah, so there's kind of like 3 tiers. You're going to have kind of your spec home where that lot has this specific package with flooring, cabinetry, carpet, etc. You're going to have semi-custom, which is going to be, hey, you can choose this exterior or this exterior elevation, different cabinet colors, fixtures, different floor colors, some fixtures, and then you're going to have your top tier, which is going to be full custom.
Which I'd say most things around here are not full custom.
No, I would say most are going to be spec homes, and then there's going to be a handful of semi-custom.
Yeah. Next is energy efficiency. So a lot of the new homes are going to have way better insulation, or like the recent whatever is to code.
Yep.
Modern windows, energy efficient appliances, and so saving money in utilities is a great perk.
Absolutely.
Next is you are going to get a warranty from the builder, and so usually it's what was it like 2, 10? What's the rule? It's like 2, 5, and 10.
Yes. So 2-year warranty. It's 1, 2, and 10.
I feel like they're all a little bit different.
Okay, so
they're
all a little bit different.
Just talk about it
your first term is going to be
that
kind of your bumper to bumper, so to speak. Anything and everything that is wrong with the home. You kind of want to take note of anything that you want addressed. If it needs to be addressed immediately, go ahead and contact them. But a lot of times they just want a big list, and so I recommend getting an inspection, a third party inspection that you pay for after about 8, 9, so that you can get everything addressed prior to that bumper to bumper warranty. Yeah. Warranty number 2.
Bumper to bumper warranty.
It's a bumper to bumper warranty. That's how they explain it to you.
Like a car salesman.
So the 2-year warranty or the 5, most of the times it's going to be a 2. It's going to be everything within the walls. So from the exterior in for the walls. So plumbing, electrical, anything like that, HVAC, if there's any issues. And then your 10-year warranty is going to be foundation. Yeah. That's pretty standard for everywhere. With Colorado soil, there's going to be movement and whatnot. You have to remember that the concrete in your driveway and your front steps that attach to your foundation are not covered.
No.
Hairline cracks are going to happen in Colorado no matter what.
Yep.
Rule of thumb, if the crack is bigger than your finger, it's then a safety hazard.
Like thicker or longer?
Thicker. So it needs to have that much movement where the crack needs to be that large. And it's a safety hazard, and they will have to come out and fix it at that point, whether that be repouring some concrete or reattaching the steps to the foundation, or just grinding down the concrete so that it's not a tripping hazard. It can be addressed then. But always remember, foundation is completely independent from your garage floor, your driveway, and your front patio.
Yep. And I think something to note with the builder warranties, I know we're talking pros, but this is just something that's just coming to mind, is that if the builder changes owners, sometimes the warranty doesn't cross over. Now, an example is Rutland Homes used to be Wonderland Homes, and their warranty does transfer, which is great. But there are some situations, and I feel like it's more like sketchy builders.
Yes, fly-by-night companies.
Yeah, that will sell, and then the warranty's not covered. So I would definitely, no, that's not really a big thing up here, but it's still important, I think.
Absolutely.
Next is lower maintenance costs. So with everything being new, you're less likely to face costly repairs after the first few years. Yep,
because your warranty is going to honestly cover everything. So all your mechanical things from that 2-year warranty. So like if your AC, your
HVAC, water heater.
Yes. Total blank.
Speak, man. That's fun. You're going to find modern features and layouts in new builds. So that's going to be open floor plans, smart home technology, up-to-date designs are common, which, Yeah,
the builders are catering to what the majority of people are looking for. So
right. Next is the perk of potential incentives. So builders are going to often offer incentives like closing cost assistance or upgrades. So things like having your landscaping done, fencing done, because typically that is not included. A blind package.
Appliances are usually not included. So
fridge and washer dryer.
Well, you usually will always get like a microwave because it'll be built in.
Dishwasher.
And dishwasher and stove. But what you will be purchasing is a fridge and washer dryer almost all the time, unless your agent does negotiate that or they're offering it as an incentive.
Right. And sometimes like homes that are ready to go now will have those things in them.
Absolutely.
Yeah, there's a couple right now. And then low earnest money. Now, this is not true for all new build, but there are some that are they're easily recoverable, and they're as low as $500 for some communities.
Yes.
But then they can also be as high as 20% plus plus the design center costs as well. So it just depends on the new build and the builder and how, honestly, like luxury they are, I would say.
Absolutely. If you're looking at a spec home or a semi-custom home, you're going to be on that lower end. If you're looking for a full custom home, they want their money up front. They want to ensure that they are going to close this home.
Yeah.
Now that we've shared a few pros on new build, Izzy, why don't you take us through some of the cons?
All right. So the first one that comes up is just limited negotiation, unlike what you'd have on a traditional existing build. Builders are rarely going to lower the price of the home. They have that base price, but they will offer incentives instead, which could be landscaping, yards, blind package, closing costs. Next is delays in construction timeline. So if you are doing something like a dirt start where there's not even a foundation poured, it's just, I mean, they're going to give you a realistic timeline, but supplies, I know wood was an issue for a little bit. It can just take some time.
Yeah, and depending on what kind of home you're buying, if you're going to get a spec home, these builders have already spec'd out what's going to go on that property. So the delays are going to be less. If anything, it's going to be more due to weather than supply chain.
Yeah. Right.
So
next is new builds having smaller lots and less mature landscaping. Now, Colorado has, obviously, it's forests and things like that, but I would say most of the trees that you see in Fort Collins have been planted, and they take years to get big. And so a lot of people are shocked when they go into a new build community, it feels so bare. And while they will have the little itty bitty cute trees, but oftentimes they're also trying to do xeriscaped in the front yards just for water usage and things like that. Homes are obviously going to be on smaller lots, just you can build more homes if you...
Yeah, land's expensive, so that's going to be one of the big costs on your new build. So a lot of times you're going to see these lot premiums for nicer lots and whatnot like that. So the lot itself is a big chunk of that cost.
Yeah, and a lot of clients who are visiting Fort Collins for the first time or just looking at new build communities are often surprised at the lack of privacy fencing, like the privacy 6-foot fencing, and you can find it. It's just not common.
Yes, there's not going to be very many places.
And then like
most homes and these new communities are going to be split rail, whether that's vinyl, wood. They do allow, I would say, at 99% of these communities, the chicken wire, so you can still prevent your dogs from getting out and whatnot. Kids, yeah. When they're young, don't be crawling through that chicken wire. Totally. But one reason that these communities do this is because it provides that eye to not be stopped at these privacy fences. So the lots feel a little bit larger and you feel like you have a little more space around your home, even though in reality you don't. Even if they do allow you to have a 4-foot privacy fence, any property that's adjacent to public property, as far as like walking paths, open space, a park, anything like that, most places will not let you have anything besides a split fence.
Right. Yes. And even some older neighborhoods have that too. I can think of some in Fort Collins. Next is HOA fees and restrictions. And so a lot of new developments are definitely going to have HOAs, but a lot of the new ones, not as much in Fort Collins, but everywhere else, metro tax districts. And so briefly explaining what a metro tax district is essentially the city is no longer paying for the infrastructure of that community, and so it's being put back onto the residents in a form of a tax. And so where in non-metro tax districts around up here, you're going to have between like 0.6 and 0.8% of the home value is what you're going to be taxed on, where in a metro tax it's closer to like 0.9 to 1.4 is the highest I've seen.
Yeah, I would honestly wouldn't estimate anything under 1%.
Yeah.
So 1 to 1.4%.
Yeah.
But most common is going to be about that 1 to 1.2.
And I'd say it depends. Like if you're looking at a community like Timnath Lakes, where they have a lake that they've put in where you could paddleboard. There's talk of a fitness center. Things like pools, parks, things like that, you're going to be paying more. So if you're using those amenities, awesome. If you're not, then you are paying for the other people's enjoyment of them. So just knowing what a metro tax is. And then often in newer build communities, sometimes the rules can be a little more.
Yeah, so we all want an HOA so that we don't have Izzy's farmhouse next door to us with horses, 18 dogs, 12 children, everything running around. So we don't want to park it in your front yard.
Don't worry, I'm not looking for an HOA.
So we do want a little bit of governing over what our neighbors can do. But there are some extreme HOAs. We don't run into them often. They're really going to be at your higher end gated communities. And that's where they're going to have restrictions on, hey, your trash needs to be Your trash cans need to be put back in within 24 hours after pickup. We need your lawn cut every Tuesday and Thursday. We need
That's
one
an
tree.
exaggeration.
That is not an exaggeration.
Nuh-uh.
There are places like that. Yes.
Limit on number of pets.
Number of
dogs.
pets. Yes. You can't have any commercial branded vehicles parked outside your garage, so you can't park them on the street or park them in your drive.
No RVs.
No RV parking. Yeah. So a lot of things like that. So if you are not looking for that, just be aware to share that with your agent so that you can steer clear.
Or just review the HOA covenants before you go under contract. That's what I've done for a few too.
Okay.
I think it's helpful because they're not all,
Yeah.
like that.
If your agent is a good agent and you tell them, hey, we don't want this type of covenants and whatnot, they're most likely not going to steer you to a new build that's going to be.
It's true.
I'm
thinking about communities that have HOAs that aren't as strict.
Gotcha.
You know what I mean? Like, I wouldn't say no HOAs, but yeah, new builds for sure. I would avoid. Next is lack of character. So new build communities can often be characterized as cookie cutter, and they definitely don't have the charm and unique features that like an older home has.
Hey, every cookie's different in its own way. You can decorate it however you would like.
Right. Exactly. And last, potential for construction nearby. So if you are buying a home where next door maybe hasn't started building yet, or just like in the general area, it's just going to be noisy, dusty. You're going to want to change your furnace filter often. I mean, and there is like a perk of buying a home in the beginning stages.
Yes.
By the time that neighborhood's built out, while you may not have the amenities in the beginning, the equity on your home by the time, like if you're the first bought, and then by the time that development is done, I mean,
the equity is
you could be sitting pretty because those homes only increase in price. So
absolutely,
I'd say it's worth it for the dust and the dirt.
Yes, the cost of the home is going to go up significantly from the first set of homes built and the last set of homes built to finish out the community. So if it's, I would get in there early if it were you.
Yeah. All right, next we're going to talk about, do you even need an agent?
Do you need Izzy? No, you need Zach.
All right, when buying a new build. So we're just going to kind of go over just things that an agent can assist with and help you, and maybe things you didn't know of if you've never bought a new build before, or did it by yourself the last time. So first is, if you do want to use an agent, then make sure, and I'm just going to preface this first, make sure that they're attending.
Make sure they're attending the first interaction
otherwise
with that builder.
That builder is going to be like, nope, we're not paying your agent for you. So if you want to be represented, make sure that you're not going to those sites by yourself, because they will register you and they will register an agent. And if you don't put our name down, then you're on your own, which is, we're going to explain what that would mean. And so also, do not sign anything without your agent there, because the negotiation happens prior to signing, not afterwards. And so I've had some clients make that mistake and then want to negotiate down the line, and it just doesn't work. Once you've signed, it's done for the most part.
Which is a little bit different, because like an existing build, hey, we sign, we go under contract, we're doing an inspection, and we have some negotiation of, okay, now we kind of want this and we want this and want this.
Yeah.
There is none of that in new build. So once you go under contract, you're under contract.
At the price.
It's all staying.
Yeah.
So, I mean, looking at it from the builder's perspective, if you were under contract with somebody and then they came back to you after the fact to try to get more out of you, you'd say no as well.
Right. Yeah. Okay, so buying a new build can seem very straightforward, but having a real estate agent is going to protect your interests and ensures that you get the best deal. Because I think something that's very important to know is the builder's sales agent is working for the builder and not for you. So the whole point of what they're trying to do is to maximize the builder's profits and not negotiate the best deal for you. And that's why you would want an agent for that part of it. Unless if you yourself are a negotiating bulldog and have a really good idea of the area and what you can ask for, like Zach, he's a negotiation bulldog, you will want to have an agent in your corner. And so the agent's going to advocate for you and ensure that you're getting fair terms and the best incentives.
Yeah. One mistake that a lot of people think is, hey, if I go in there without an agent, I'm going to get a discounted rate on this house because they don't have to pay the agent. That is incorrect. You will rarely see any kind of reduction due to not having an agent. agent. So might as well have an agent to advocate for you so that you know you're getting as much as you can out of that builder.
Yep. Having an agent increases your negotiation power. So an experienced agent recently may have sold within the community, and so they have a relationship with the sales team. They know right away what they can ask for, and have that insider information. So I know Zach had this experience last year.
Yeah, absolutely. So if you have found a community that you just really love and they're building quality product and they're offering your clients the good incentives, you kind of know what you can go in there, what you can ask for, and how to get the job done because they know that you're a closer and you can bring that client to the table and close that property in time.
Right. Builders will not often lower the base price, but they can offer incentives like upgrades, closings, rate buy downs, and that's where your agent can help you negotiate in those areas.
Absolutely. Some of the best ones are going to be your move-in packages so that you're not hit with the cost of appliances such as the dishwasher, or not the dishwasher, the refrigerator, and your washer dryer. Wow. I'm like, appliances, what are those? Blinds are going to be a big cost. A lot of times you can get builders to get those in there for you. Landscape, fencing, those are all huge costs. You typically have to have your landscape and fencing completed within 6 months of closing. So that is something that you always have to kind of budget in there as well.
They don't all require that though.
Typically.
Okay.
So you can't go 18 months after buying a house and not have your landscape completed.
Oh, I'm talking about though you don't need to always have a fence.
No, absolutely.
Yes,
no, just
you do need to
landscape.
have yes, totally, for sure. The front yards will always be done. This is the backyard that we're talking about. Agents will understand the fiscal dates. This one's a big one for quarters and when builders are itching to sell their homes. So I have a few builders right now who are like, I feel like crawling down my neck to get us to get one that's going to close before their quarter ends, and that's where you're going to have more negotiation power as well.
Absolutely, yep, because they want to make their quarterlies.
Yep.
All their projected sales they want to hit, and so they can continue to build and on schedule. So yeah, if you're in a time line that is flexible somewhat, that's a good thing to really remember of like, hey, if we push it to this and they're a little bit slow, hey, we might be able to get a reduction on that home prior to going under contract. So
yeah. Reviewing the contracts. So builder contracts are very different from the typical car to buy and sell real estate contracts that we deal with for existing homes. And they can favor the builder. And so your agent will review terms, look for any unfair clauses or hidden fees, and they'll just help you understand deadlines, warranties, and potential risks. So things like your earnest money and ways that you could lose that. Home inspection and quality control. So you do not need a home inspection on a new build. And I wouldn't even say they advocate for you to have one.
No.
We will though, and we'll ask a third party to come in. And so now sometimes I've had some clients who want to do it before they move into the home. And I've seen where that's going to be helpful because sometimes the builder just makes mistakes. They put like one of mine recently put the wrong vent on the roof. They put like a dryer vent instead of, it was the wrong vent. And so not a huge deal, but for some clients, it eases peace of mind knowing that someone else has come through and looked at the home. But like what Zach was saying earlier is that other times you could have that inspection done month 8 or 9 before your 1-year bumper to bumper warranty is up.
Yes.
Yeah, so having an independent home inspector is great, and then our job is to make sure those repairs are complete before you move in. So at their final walk, they'll write those kind of things down, and it's basically like they have to get those done.
Yeah, if you've never bought a new build before, we call it Blue Tape Day. We show up with rolls of tape. The builders have rolls of tape. We give you tape to go crazy everywhere, and I see it every time. Every new build, everybody's kind of a little hesitant to start marking things.
I'm like, tape.
And then after about 15 minutes, they're like, I need a new roll of tape. And I'm like, no, that's exactly what you're supposed to be doing. Right. This is the last chance and opportunity to get anything touched up, drywall fixed, any kind of texture that you see, anything that is wrong.
Especially because, to my understanding, drywall, texture, or paint, that's not part of the 1 year.
So there are going to be small parts, depending on the warranty that you have.
Like maybe if it's like the seam or something.
Yes, but not like imperfections.
Right, because they're going to think like, well, you moved in, you're living there, it's your fault.
Yes.
So the Blue Blue tape for paint is an important one, but all the tape, because there's green tape.
Yeah, so typically they have blue tape for paint touch-ups. Green tape is going to be for texture touch-ups, and then they usually use an orange tape for anything that needs to be addressed and changed and fixed.
Yeah,
cabinetry that doesn't work, doesn't move. But
every builder's definitely different, because my last few I've just had blue and green.
Okay.
But blue's always for paint. Not that it doesn't.
Blue painter's tape.
Right. Anyway, so next is just having guidance through the process. So new builds involve multiple steps, definitely not as much as a regular contract, I would say.
Yeah.
Like not as you don't have as many dates and deadlines for sure. Things like selecting upgrades, having someone in your corner is helpful. To the final walkthroughs, definitely someone to help you advocate for yourself, because we're not all bulldogs like Zach. We're not all going to be like, hey, listen, builder, you need to do this. If you're on the meeker side, like having someone who's like, no, this is what we're doing.
Yeah, no, I'll walk before I just...
Yeah.
Like, oh, you don't like that? I'm done.
Right. And so then just your agent will help you keep things on track, and so ensuring deadlines are met, mistakes are corrected, and then things like... Yeah, and then also help you understand financing options. So often, all these incentives we're talking about are going to be if you use the builder's preferred lender. Now, I've recently worked with a builder where their preferred lender was it was horrific. It was so bad.
Yes.
Now, my client's got a great deal because of how bad he was, but sometimes just learning through this last one that there's a cost to those incentives that you're paying at closing, and so there's an off chance, very rarely, that using an outside lender is actually going to be a better option. And it really depends on that break-even point.
Yes.
Are you living in this home for a long time, or considering it to be a investment, like if you move out and rent it out? Or do you think you're only going to live here for a little bit? You want to know when that break-even point is, and if paying for those incentives up front is worth it, because sometimes it's not.
Sometimes it's not. Sometimes it sounds like a great deal to be like, hey, I got this 5% 30-year fixed, but I actually paid X amount of dollars to get this done.
Right. Having a real estate agent is no cost to you, which I think may be a surprise
for new
some
build.
people. For new build.
Yes.
And so the builder will pay the agent commission, not you. Escaping an agent does not reduce, as you said, does not reduce the price. It just means the builder keeps more profit, but they often have margins for paying an agent. That's kind of how it's been done.
Yeah.
Having representation can also just give you peace of mind and at no extra cost. So some of the clients I just had close on a new build, they've bought new builds multiple times. So you would think, why do they need an agent? But I think one of the times they did it solo, and just not feeling like they had someone there to advocate for them, to bark down the lender's back when they're not answering, things like that. So I just think it can help the process, especially if you're moving from out of state. You don't want to deal with that. Like if you can't be the boots on the ground, you can't go to the home, take pictures, see what it looks like, get videos. That's where having an agent is awesome.
Absolutely.
Avoid common pitfalls. So your agent can spot hidden fees, unreasonable HOA restrictions, or resale challenges. They'll help you pick the best lot for you and floor plan for future value. So just keeping that on the top of your brain if this is not going to be your forever home. If construction is delayed and it's at the fault of the builder, they can help you negotiate solutions.
Absolutely.
Sometimes. Yeah. So next, we're going to talk about some of our favorite new build communities that are in Northern Colorado.
Yeah, we're just going to go ahead and kind of throw them out there of some of the places that we do really like, just so that you're aware of how much new build is actually happening in Northern Colorado. So in Loveland, we have Lake Cicentera that is it's probably 80% built out. They're still doing a little bit of new build. Kingston on the east side of I-25 is going to be Loveland as well. And then we have Riano Ridge, which is going to be one of my favorite new builds. It's going to be on the west side, just tucked right adjacent to the foothills, and I'm excited for that one. They're just getting ready to put in streets and get that going, so can't wait. So
is that the one right by your house?
No, that's going to be the one that's over by Mahaffey Park.
Oh, yes. Toll Brothers is
off
going
of
in
29th.
there.
Yes.
That's going to be
Toll Brothers and Lennar, I do believe, are building over there. So
that's going to be an awesome location. Builders that are building in the areas that he just talked about, not all at each one, but are going to be KB, Richmond American, Landmark, Lennar, and Bridgewater. Toll Brothers.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So some of my favorite places in Berthoud are going to be Vantage. That's going to be right off of 287. There's a lake right there. That's going to be D.R. Horton Homes. Heron Lakes, it's going to be Toll Brothers. It's going to be over by the TPC golf course, TPC area. Those are beautiful homes with extravagant finishes. They're going to be semi-custom and full custom homes over there. And then Harvest, which is going to be I can't afford it. It's all full custom homes, but it's beautiful. They're on good sized lots, views, unobstructed views of Longs, Peak, and just a full custom home. Oh, so
and builders in those areas include D.R. Horton, Toll Brothers, and several other builders.
Yeah, so with that full custom, you're going to be able to kind of pick and choose out of, say, 10 custom home companies that they have already kind of contracted with for those lots. So Windsor, up and coming. Windsor is
fastest
growing.
growing city in northern Colorado.
Yes, there's just a lot of space to build. Therefore, you're going to see a lot of new build. But some of my favorite places over there are going to be Prairie Song, Greenspire, Rain Dance, and Fossil Creek Ranch.
And Rain Dance has a pretty cool hoedown hill where they've built like a legit ski hill.
Yep.
And they pump real snow, right?
Fake. Well, they make fake snow, but it's
real.
It's artificial snow.
But then it also really snows too, obviously. So great place for, I know, like taking kids if you
tubing, skiing,
all of it. They have a golf course up there, greenery. It's cute. Huge.
It's a great community. It's a golf cart community. So if you move to this community, most likely in the near future, you will own a golf cart because that's what everybody uses to commute around in their community.
That's so cool.
To the restaurant that's there, Ted's place,
Sweetwater Grill,
and then the pools. They have 3 different pools in the community. So, I mean, it's a great community, all-inclusive.
Very family-friendly.
Yes, and I mean, from townhomes all the way up to $2 million homes.
Right. And then Fossil Creek Ranch is an interesting little subdivision. Not much amenity wise, but it's cool in that it's like 5 minutes from Timnath in Windsor and has a Fort Collins zip code. So you're in Larimer County still. You have access to Poudre School District, but you literally can jump to 3 towns so fast.
Yeah, and it's about 3 minutes away from Costco.
Yeah, and very yes, 3 minutes from Costco and very affordable homes. And so I know we have D.R. Horton listed as the builder. There's also Richmond American is now building there too. I would say that's like a little bit of a higher tier.
Yeah.
And then other builders in Windsor for the communities we just talked about are Truemark, American Legend, Windmill Homes, and Bridgewater as well. Bridgewater.
All right, Izzy, why don't you tell us a little bit about Severance?
Okay. Severance is
a small community.
Rural community.
Mostly known for Bruce's Bar, serving
which has
Rocky Mountain oysters. And if you don't know what Rocky Mountain oysters are, don't be afraid to reach out to us, and we will let you know.
Just look it up. Okay, so the 2 communities we want to highlight are Tailhaw and Hidden Valley Farms, and one of the big builders out there is D.R. Horton.
D.R. Horton, and then View Homes is the other.
Homes.
Yep. Johnstown, one of my favorite up-and-coming places. They have a ton of new build going on. So I'm going to list these off real quick to you. We have Revere, we have Mallard Ridge, we have the Overlook at Johnstown, the Ridge, Ledge Rock, Mountain View, and I mean the list continues to go on with the new golf course that's going out there and the influx of people moving to Johnstown because it is affordable. A brand new high school just opened last year. They turned the old high school into the middle school. They have about 4 new elementary schools. So I mean they're getting tons of commercial right off I-25.
Yeah.
New grocery store. Murdoch's. Yeehaw! But great little place. Tons of opportunity for new build.
And builders include KB Homes, American Legend, D.R. Horton, Hartford Homes, Lennar, and Bassler Homes.
Yeah. I believe Richmond American is over there as well. Yeah.
Fort Collins,
go for it.
Okay. So Fort Collins is overall going to have less metro. Now, some of these do have metro, but what's cool is Fort Collins kind of
was already established.
Where the roads were in, things like that. So Saunders, that is going to be up north by the Fort Collins Country Club. And hopefully will eventually be connected to, is it Montava, which will then connect to Wellington. But I know that has not broken ground yet. Then we have Hanson Farms, Reserve at Timberline, Bloom, which is going to be off of Mulberry, which there's talk of like they're building an amphitheater,
that'd be so
restaurants, shops. And if you know Mulberry, corridor needs some love. It's not cute. Like if that's your first impression driving into Fort Collins, you're like,
what did I get myself into?
And then also Wouterfield Country Club Reserve, also up by Saunders and the Country Club, and then Northfield. And so builders include Landmark, Dreamfinders, Thrive, D.R. Horton,
Bridgewater.
Yeah. Dreamfinders is a big one. Yeah. Hartford is doing all Bloom, which that community is backing to Mosaic, which is basically fully built out, and that was also Hartford, just a local builder.
Hartford Homes.
Yes.
Alrighty, and the last place that we want to mention today is going to be Timnath. Tons of new build going over there. They are building out quickly. So if you want to get in there, I would suggest making that move sooner than later and pulling the trigger on getting your new build. Timnath Lakes is going to be one. We have Trailside and then Wilder at Timnath.
Yeah, and Trailside, I can speak. Trailside has quite a bit of amenities.
Yes.
And affordable homes for sure. Like you can get homes in the, I'm gonna say low fives.
Yeah.
I mean, they're not huge homes.
Low to mid fives. Yeah.
And the yards aren't great, but the amenities are awesome. That's built out by Hartford and then Wonderland, which is now Brightland Homes.
Brightland.
Builders also include Toll Brothers. That's like our custom luxury builder up here, and so that's in Timnath Lakes. We have Century Homes, and then Landmark and Brightland.
Yeah.
So whether or not you're considering buying a new build in Northern Colorado, we hope this video is helpful in understanding the pros and cons, as well as the need for an agent if you think that one is necessary. Hopefully you came to the conclusion that the answer is yes. And then just some of the new build communities that are in our area. If you have more specific questions about certain communities, maybe there's one we didn't mention, certain builders, we didn't really go into the tiers of builders around here. But if you do have specific questions about that, we'd love to help you out. If you're thinking about relocating here to Fort Collins or
anywhere in Northern Colorado,
we'd love to help you.
Absolutely. So don't be afraid to reach out.
Call us, text us, email us.
I'm Zach Jordan.
I'm Izzy Olson.
And that is it for Should You Buy a New Build? Peace.